Yo, what's up guys? Bill here, Classic Rock and Metal Review. Here to just talk about where to find rare collector bootleg releases. I think a lot of you already know. If I were you, I would just turn this off and not waste your time. But for everyone else who wants to know, I'm going to go through everything I think you need to know. And so let's just get started right into it. So what are we talking about? We're talking about rare, often not officially released, either demos, concerts, whatever, alternate mixes, whatever you want to call them, whatever floats your boat. Not sanctioned by the artist, they're not going to get paid for them. And why do we want them? Of course, we just can't get enough of our favorite bands. I mean, that's pretty obvious. So, the other thing too is you can get a lot of this stuff for free on the internet, or you can listen to it for free right here on YouTube. So it's not like something you have to buy and commit to purchasing a physical product that the band's not getting a part of, And I also have my feelings on that. I mean, the band's not, like Sabbath's not getting paid for Live at Last or Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll. So if you want to take, trash them or whatever and, boycott the sites that sell all them, I mean, how far can you go really in trying to support the band? So I get it. I know the band's not making money off illegal stuff, but on the other hand, they're not releasing it either. So and then, like I said, there's that gray market area of like Live at Last where the band didn't want it out, the band didn't get paid. It is what it is at this point, right? And I hate using that saying because it's really a mouthful of nothing. All right. So let's get to the bottom line. The thing is, we own all the official releases. We've supported the band as much as possible, and if they release these things, we would buy them. Like for instance, Evidence CD #1. I bought this a couple years ago. Sabbath, live at Asbury Park, 75. Soundboard quality. I already had that. I paid $50 for that, right? I mean, I had it ripped off the internet from years ago, and guys, now I have the money to be able to buy a physical product rather than just, what I burned off the internet 10 years ago. Even though I have that, I still got this. I already have everything in this box. Even the radio version of Am I Going Insane? I have the singles collection on 45s. So, as you can see, I haven't even opened it yet because I already have everything in it. But I'm a major supporter of the band. I mean, I know, yeah, what am I, just relieving some of my guilt? Yeah, maybe, but not really. I'm going to buy everything these guys put out. So, there you go. Release it, build it and they will come. And I think it's the same in a lot of these cases, and the band just doesn't choose to release nearly everything, nearly anything that's out there. And, it is what it is. Like I said, I hate using that saying, but sometimes it just applies. And, I think the bands a lot of times erroneously think we don't want substandard, sub-quality stuff. And you can see some of these bands are relaxing. Sabbath, one of them, putting out the super deluxes with concerts that aren't super sounding. You know what? It's as good as the bootlegs that were out there, so it's good enough for me. But here you go. Here's another great example. And I don't like a lot of what Metallica's done the last, 35 years or whatever. But they got this right, doing these super deluxe editions. But what's in them? I mean, a bunch of bootleg concerts, right? Soundboard recording concerts that weren't like remixed, weren't intended to be released. Band knows people want them. They're coming out anyway. There's even a DVD on here that has like no sound for the first 20-some minutes on it, So I think a lot of bands underestimate how loyal we are and how much we want this, this content. So, all right, so let's get into where to buy things. Before I tell you where though, just so you know, the quality is going to vary greatly depending on who you're using. So just do your research. You'll find which versions are better than others if you're looking for like a physical product, physical CD. From that moving forward, I'll always tell you guys, I started this with the last Sabbath video with the best of 70 rarities. Each CD I talked about, or song, I told you where exactly to get them. So I'm going to start doing that moving forward, so that won't be an issue. But the quality will vary. Like I used to have a Don Henley bootleg that I got off the internet because I heard, I heard a stream of it, sounded phenomenal. Then I bought a CD of it and it sounded horrible. So you just never really know. I can tell you one thing though, if it doesn't say Soundboard recording on the CD, all right, like, you know, this guy does on the bottom, then that means it's not 99% of the time, because they are going to boast and brag about that on the CD. It'll even probably sometimes, a lot of times, be in the, not all the time, but a lot of times be in the title of the CD itself. Not in this case, but if it's not part of the title, it will be written usually in red on the back of the CD itself, no matter which brand selling them. So don't assume if you see quality artwork, you know, whatever, Foghat Live in '78 with great artwork, or, you know, artwork as good as this or anything, that it's going to mean it's Soundboard. It's not. Even though I know that myself, I still have found myself virtually buying something just thinking it's going to be Soundboard quality, and then I, at the last minute, decide to check into it. I zip over to YouTube to like pull up the concert, and it's an audience recording, and it's like, okay, you know, out of here for me. I'm pretty much just a Soundboard quality guy. There's just so much out there these days. We don't need audience tapes, but, you know, in rare instances like Sabbath Live in Lausanne, you know, it's the only recording that exists, and that's the only way to get it. And if you're a big enough fan, you know, there's people out there that want every single recording by their favorite artist. So there's going to be way more audience stuff than Soundboard stuff. I don't need that much, you know, material. The other thing too is, and these sites that sell things like Ozzy and, you know, the Ritz Complete, those sites that are Japanese based selling that stuff, they have been selling a lot of more CDRs lately, DVDRs. I mean, they're just lesser quality discs. So look for silver pressed CD or DVD. You see CDR, it's not as high, you know, they're a little bit cheaper, but they used to be a lot cheaper. Now I'm seeing that the CDRs are seeming to be a lot more, and more of the material that's coming out is that recordable. And, you know, I used to think that was going to last forever until like a few months ago I put on some stuff of my own. My old band that I had put on CDR like 10 years ago would not play for me. I started doing some research, and apparently, you know, these things were supposed to last 10, 20 years. They're only lasting like 5. They're finding 5 to 10's more accurate. So, you know, I wouldn't pay. I try to avoid buying CDRs and DVDRs. Now, a lot of times you'll get a CDR or a DVDR as a bonus option. Like, you can buy this concert by itself on CD, and for $4 more, you can get a DVDR of the same band. Now that I'll do for, you know, a couple more bucks. No big deal there. It's a bonus. It's not why I'm really buying the product in the first place. I'm buying it for the main CD. So it's just a bonus. No big deal. That'll do. All right. So like I said, you can go, first of all, if you don't want to pay for physical product, just search for, like, if you can, the specific title. Now I know this is a whole other thing. Bootlegs have been giving these concerts and things their own titles, you know, and I used to think they were a lot of them are. They're really dumb titles. I know Zeppelin has one called Listen to This, Eddie. You know, they're not usually as concise as like Ozzy Osbourne, Ritz Complete, you know, that kind of tells you what you're getting. The Soundboard. You have all your information right in the cover of this thing. Listen to This, Eddie. I think it was a '75 concert. But a lot of bootlegs, older bootlegs, have dumb names, and I used to think, why even name it? Just call it Live in LA or whatever it was. But actually, it does serve a good purpose, because, you know, companies copy off other companies. So, you know, and now sometimes they even copy the title, which is kind of crazy. But most often, they'll just make up their own title for their release. So when you're looking for a certain specific, that's what I've been telling people all along. If you're looking for a certain specific title, search, as one of the commenters said, use the Google machine and search for that exact title. And that's, you know, I tried this myself, guys, it works. So just search for the exact title, and you'll get multiple Japanese sites that'll come up, and they're selling the exact product you're looking for. If you type in Ozzy Ritz, there were audience recordings that were out there first years ago. So, you know, who knows if you're buying that versus the Soundboard stuff that I showed you guys. All right, the other thing is you got gray market releases. What are gray markets? So, you know, technically they're legal to be released, but the band's still not getting any money for them. I think the UK and maybe some other European countries followed suit. I really don't know. It's just impossible to keep up with what's legal and not legal. But the UK for sure, about 5 or 6 years ago, I think passed a law where any radio broadcast is now public domain. And I think that might have been true of, you know, news and things, but they made it also for broadcasted music. So basically a lot of concerts that were off limits to people releasing were now legal to release. Problem with that too is, I mean, not only is the band not getting paid for that, again, the quality varies, depends on the company. Just search the title, read the reviews. Amazon's got 100 of them or more. What I do when I search Amazon, I just search CD and broadcast, and you'll get, you know, a bunch of them up. I know Rush has a bunch. The Eagles, I've got 3 or 4 of them off of there. But the thing is, like, who's really checking to make sure that these recordings were ever broadcast? I think some of them never really were. They're just using that because who's going to really check, right? But nevertheless, that's a good way to get some good CDs. Here's a great Eagles concert I got off Amazon, live at the Summit in Houston, November 6th, 76. Glenn's birthday, it also gets called. Sound quality's good, you know? Like, I think it's good enough. I mean, it's Soundboard. I think this is actually probably lifted off the in-house feed of the video, but it's good enough. It's not great, but I'd give it about an 8 out of 10. Again, gray market release. I mean, you know, what's this label? I can't even see a label on here. So that's your gray market releases. They're all over eBay and Amazon. You don't usually see them on the bootleg sites out of Japan. So when we're talking bootlegs, let's get to the real stuff here. Real quick, I should mention, you know, fans also do their own work online that aren't necessarily printed as DVDs on eBay, Amazon, Japanese bootleg. They don't exist at all other than downloads or uploads from fans. You know, because the software nowadays to remix music it's out there and it's pretty incredible. For instance, like Steely Dan, they did there's Gaucho outtakes out there, the Lost Gaucho it's called. Somebody did a remix of that about 10 years ago and significantly improved the quality of those demos. So I just took like your basic generic CD software program in my computer and made this cheesy but, you know, somewhat useful cover and back cover listing all the songs. So there is no bootleg of this on any kind of CD that I could ever find. I mean, I'm sure it probably does exist. Never really looked too hard because I already have this great sounding CD that somebody did at home and uploaded, and it's, you know, awesome. So, but all right, let's get to the meat and potatoes here. Like the Ozzy Ritz Complete, right? Legendary Masters, you know, the ones that I already reviewed. This is a Zodiac label, if you see in the bottom corner there, as is the Ozzy. Yep. What else am I holding? As is. Zodiac specializes in metal. All right, so they're a great quality label. I think it's my favorite label. There's a couple others, Shades, that make some decent stuff. Really, you know, there's a bunch of labels out there. I really can't tell you the difference. I don't usually pay attention to it. I just noticed that a lot of my stuff's Zodiac. Anyway, where do you get it? Go to like your favorite bands, join like fan pages on Facebook and social media. People are constantly posting their boots on there, and you'll see commenters and people will ask, where'd you get this? And they'll name names. I don't want to go there, you know. I got a boy and he's hooking me up and he will remain Rodney Anonymous. So, if you want to look, so that's where to get them, all right? That's how I found them. And once in a while, you'll see this stuff on eBay too. You know, I think one of the viewers here, right, got the Ozzy Ritz Complete on there. Seen it on there. The prices will be better if you go direct to Japan, but they do vary a little bit. You know, as far as how much they go for it, I mean, 20 bucks, 25 for a single, 35, 40, 50 for a double. It depends what it is. You know, is it worth it? That's your decision. I mean, you know, it's $250 for a decent seat at a concert. You know, it's 2 hours of your life for an hour and a half and it's gone. You'll have the CD forever for 50 bucks, 30 bucks, whatever. If you just want information on these things, again, search the exact title, what you're looking for, or at least, you know, try to find the name of a title, or just give it the, you know, search the info, Ozzy Live, 1982, Ritz or something. But there's a great site called Discogs, Discogs, yeah, I did have it right. They don't sell bootlegs, but they give you all the info about them, and they just put a disclaimer, we do not sell this, but here's the info about it. So that's a good way. There's sometimes there's reviews in there, not too often, but all the songs and stuff will be listed. Usually the info like soundboard versus audience is in there. There's a site called Gig in Japan, all one word, Gig in Japan. They do reviews of bootlegs. They're awesome. That's a great resource. I use them prepping for my next video today. Thing is, they're originally in Japanese, and then they're translated, and it's gotten a lot better the last few years, because, like, you know, a few years ago, man, I couldn't even make heads or tails of what they were saying half the time, but it was usually pretty funny. The terminology they use, they're using like the wrong English words, but you can see the point they're trying to make. So if you want a good laugh and some information, check out Gig in Japan, especially if you find like their 3 or 4 year old reviews. Then there's a dude called who writes a column, or he writes reviews. This guy's been doing this for like 15 or 20 years. I don't even know how long. At least, yeah, probably at least 15 years. Collector's Music Reviews, all one word. Look him out. Look him up. Join his email list. Every time he does a review, he also gives you the info on new releases. Check him out. He'll send you, an email when he does a review. Good stuff. So in closing, determine the show you want. Use the Google machine to search out the title if you want info, if you want to find out where to buy it. You can stream them to listen, usually on YouTube or other streaming services. Listen before you buy. Compare the prices on different sites. Use Facebook and social media sites to find specific buyers. It might be a little more less costly. Remember this: if it doesn't say Soundboard on it, it's going to be an audience recording 99 times out of 100. And you just don't know what you're listening to or going to get, right? And then also keep in mind CD versus CDR. One's going to last you 50 years, the other might last you 10. I mean, who really knows, right? But more and more of these, like I said, are becoming CDR and DVD-R. Bummer, especially because they're almost the same price. So that kind of sucks, but that's just what's going on. And all right, so the next video I'm going to be doing today is unboxing. I wish I had it here, but it's across the room and my mic's attached to me. A box of goodies from Japan. Do you want to see what it's like for a 52-year-old to have a Christmas day like he was 6 again? Stick around for that one. I'll get that up today. And the cool thing is, I have 3 or 4 orders out there right now, and one of them got lost. So part of this order I'm going to be doing today is replacement CDs. Going back like 6 weeks now, or a month. So I'm not even 100% sure what I'm going to be looking at. We're going to be kind of looking at it together. There's a couple of them I remember, and there's a 6 or 8 that I forget what I even ordered. It was a couple weeks ago at this point. And between the 3 or 4 different orders out there, I'm a little kind of forgetting what's there. So that'll be fun, man. All right, guys, that'll do it for now. Sorry for this long, boring video. It's really sucked to do, but I feel like I had to. So, all right, 20 minutes on the nose. Later!